Does it say live yet? Mine still does.
Absolutely.
Yes, they are looking live.
Let's go, Santori.
10 in a row!
10.
Got another one.
We used to think 3 was a winning streak.
Oh my God, that's a hell of a URL now. www.
Yeah, that's a long URL.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, Joseph and Mary. You are watching live to the only AFC team with a 10-game winning streak left in the NFL. How we doing? How we doing?
Disrespected. We're feeling disrespected.
Don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through.
They got to play us.
They got to play us.
I think I'm feeling as good as the people in the chat here. Look at this. Hooday.
Look at
Hooday,
this.
fellas.
Hey, Dart.
Hooday
What's up?
all. Bengal Depot. Hooday.
About who day?
And then that graphic for the championship game is fire.
Thank you so much.
Which, the one on YouTube? Is that what you're talking about,
YouTube.
Bengal Depot?
I hope.
We'll see what he says.
That,
He said Santori. Gosh, pork chops in here.
I'm smelling a pork
What
chop.
up, Pork Chop?
Yeah. And, of course, Crypt.
Crypt, as always, thank you.
Oh,
Hey, thank you, Bengal Depot.
So, Bengal Depot, I'll tell you what I did there. I took a picture, covered up some stuff with our logos, and added it with some tiger stripes, and that's what I did.
I don't even know what logo we're talking about.
I don't either.
It's
God, you and I are like the least important members of the show anymore. We are as disconnected as it gets.
I'm right where I want to be. I'm on the fringe. I love being on the fringe.
You got J-Lac in here too.
Justin Mack, my old high school classmate. Thank you so much, Justin.
And
We got
don't
new
forget,
people in here every week anymore. I don't even know who the hell any of these people are.
don't forget, I did order this shirt. Don't forget to make sure that the NFL sends those refunds.
Better send them refunds. Pork Chop, absolutely.
Woo!
Gee,
Give it to you. We got lots of stuff.
Jesus,
The
just
one
keep
on the
going.
waiting screen before, that's what I did. Yeah.
that's awesome.
I wish I could take all the credit, but I cannot. I just added stuff to it and made it look cool, I guess.
All right.
But all right, so what do we want to start with tonight, fellas?
I don't know. You tell me what to do. You guys
Wait.
can run the show.
Should we start with last week and start with the film, something new
Yeah, let's do that.
that we don't do normally?
Film talk.
But since
Film talk.
we've got Mr. Film himself, Santori, we would like to go over this. And actually, I shouldn't say we. Santori is going to learn us something tonight about this play, this beautiful, beautiful play to 188 Hayden Hurst.
I can tell you right away the only reason that play worked. I don't even care where Chase is. It's the pump fake. I've been calling all year for a pump fake.
Well, that plays a big part of it, for sure. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna make this real easy, right? We like things easy, don't we?
Right.
All right. The good news is I can actually use the black marker this week because the field was so freaking dusty.
Remember, Santor, we had an advantage with the white jerseys in the snow, right?
Yeah, sure.
As if we didn't have a massive orange dot on the top of our heads.
If only there was something neon that we could be recognized with.
I just couldn't see the Buffalo Bills' heads.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
I mean,
All right.
seriously.
So we'll start with the defense, as we always should, so you can understand the assignments. And I'm really only going to do this top half of the field here. This is mainly a cover 2 look. So you've got this guy, and he's got this entire half here. This guy's going to have the flat. This guy's got a hook to curl. Okay? So those are the defensive assignments. In any scenario when you have cover 2, this guy right here is to get back. Okay? Regardless of what happens, he gets back. Once the ball carrier breaks the line, he can come up and play. But he is the last line of defense. This guy here in the middle, this is called a hook to curl. It's about a 45-degree drop, and he hangs out here. This corner has the flat, which is that shallow spot off to the sideline.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
I
Hold
don't
on.
see your pointer.
Yeah, your pointer went away.
You're saying this guy and this guy. I got nothing.
No, hold on. So this
You
guy,
lost me. I'm a student.
There it is. There you go.
There
Him, that guy.
He's got a 45-degree drop. That's called a hook to curl. This guy has like no drop. He just defends this area over here. Okay,
That would
that's
be
called
my
the
job.
flat.
I have nothing to do.
Right. This is the flat. Okay. So those three guys are responsible for those three areas. On a screenplay, which is what this is disguised to be, you've got a screen and you've got a block. Okay. Burrow takes the snap, does his little shoulder shimmy. We'll call it a shimmy.
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 Okay. Once Numbnuts here, Numb Nuts.
Did he vacate the area?
Oh
What did
my
he do?
God. He
Came forward. That's right. He left the whole backside open.
And then Hayden Hurst goes, doo 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 doo.
Uh-huh.
There's not a whole lot left to do for this play. I know that's kind of funny in how we're breaking it down, but that's what happened.
And Numbnuts came forward because he just had his eyes clearly on Chase.
Yep, that's when they say they had their eyes on the quarterback, and I always say you should never do that. Well,
Right. You need to. I saw what happened there.
now I've got Hurst running by himself. He's walked up. This was the middle linebacker. So my free safety and my middle linebacker are on the same plane.
Can you go backward a little bit?
Yeah. It's a problem when your safety and your linebacker are standing in the same spot.
Go backward a little bit. Okay, I thought I saw something that wasn't there. All I saw then is Numbnuts and me run up and go to Chase almost immediately. As soon as Burrow turned his body just a little bit, that's when Numbnuts vacated the area, and
So-
I decided not to hold true to form.
It's okay for him to still get depth, as he should, just in case. It's okay for the nickel to drive the lane and play inside out. So if this is Chase, he's got the inside, right? And it forces Chase to bounce. In this corner, plays outside in. And it would force him to cut back. So they're bracketing. They're doing the right thing. The issue is Chase is a decoy. And
Right.
safety isn't smart enough to put the brakes on because he's watching what's in front of him instead of reading properly. The other thing you're supposed to do in cover 2, okay? And we taught our kids this on day 1. You read what's called 2 to 1, okay? The inside receiver is 2, the outside receiver is 1. If he stays flat,
Who?
2.
Oh,
If 2 stays flat, meaning anything within this area, his eyes immediately go to the 1 receiver. Okay?
Makes sense.
If 1 also stays flat, which they do in this scenario, these 2 guys play it and you haul ass back because there's going to be something coming from somewhere. That's what you're supposed to do. You're taught to still get your depth just in case. Because last I checked, there's 5 eligible receivers. There's a guy there, there's a guy there, there's a guy there. Any of those guys could be going into that zone at any point. You've got to make sure you continue to get your depth. He did not. He decided that I'm also going to jump this screen route. And as soon as that pump was done, I don't know what wide open is in the NFL, but I'd venture to say that would be considered wide open.
I love it.
and that's a safety back there, right?
Yeah, it's the safety that took 2 or 3 steps up.
That was Poyer.
Probably it was either Poyer or Hyde. If he
In
would
case you didn't notice.
yeah, no, that's his official term. But if he'd have just continued to get his depth, that wouldn't have happened.
Is it spelled Numm or Numb?
I would think NUMB.
I don't
That's
know.
what I'm thinking, especially on a cold day.
Regardless, that safety screwed everything up. You want to talk about one guy ruining an entire play. That it can. You can have 10 guys do the right thing. Everybody else on that play did the right thing. 10 of 11 did their job. Guy number 11 screwed up, and it's a 15-yard touchdown. It's designed for him to screw up, albeit. But, one of those things that we've been talking about all year, I haven't heard too much complaining of. Good play design and good play call, Zach.
Boom.
Because guess what? Good coaches understand their own tendencies. How many times have we seen the screen to Jamar Chase do nothing this year?
Never. Absolutely.
He's doing a hell of a job coaching for a team that doesn't have any first team or second team all pros.
Yep.
I think we're the only ones that recognize that, though.
No coach of the year candidate, no assistant coach of the year candidate. It's all the same.
We got nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
We're just doing it with mirrors, smoking mirrors.
Yeah, so I mean, we got a bad coach, we got an overrated quarterback,
and we got a bunch of nothing players.
We've got a bad defensive coordinator who doesn't deserve an interview. We got a bad offensive coordinator who can't get an interview. We've got backups on the line. We've got a bunch of just dirty nothing players on defense, and here we are. Everything I keep hearing.
And we're about to be the villains of the NFL.
Yeah.
No, guys, can I ask you, are we like the Detroit Pistons of the late 890 or
No.
No.
We're not the bad boys.
That's what we're getting compared to, literally. We're like that team nobody wants to see win. It's like after the Lakers and the Celtics, everybody wants to see the Bulls, but then the Pistons came along, and they hated that.
If Logan Wilson would go out and punch somebody in the face, and then Sam Hubbard would go rob a bank after, sure, we'll start talking about it.
Yeah,
we're nowhere near that.
But the point I'm making is we're getting compared to that, is what I'm saying. And
as my best friend says, I have a theory. And I knew you would get a kick out of that. My theory is every single talking head nationally 3 years ago sold this team down the river. Joe Burrow should never go to that team. He should pull an Eli. They wanted to see this team fail and fail miserably and have Joe make a massive mistake. And we could all say, we told you. They all have egg on their face.
Yeah.
And so at this point, all they can do is start to criticize and hope. If we lose Sunday, they're going to have a field day nationally. We told you that team was overrated. They're going to come down on us. Hell have no fury. It's going to be horrible the way the national media will come down on us. If we win, they're not going to have any choice than to kind of smile and give us the little feel goods we want. Oh my goodness, there I am, media hater.
Tony Romo was all over Josh Allen all the game. Like this, that, and the other near the end. He's like, we have to accept the fact the Bengals are a good team and all that.
Did you realize that Superman plays for two teams in the NFL? When that cape comes off Josh Allen and when that cape comes off Patrick Mahomes, here comes Superman. He plays on two teams and they can't beat the Bengals.
All I'm going to say is Joe Burrow's 4-0 against Superman.
Yes, he is.
We're 3-0.
Batman?
Is he Batman?
He's kicking Superman's ass.
Well, no. Like one reporter, I think, said for Joe Burrow to prove he's better than Mahomes, he's got to beat him a fourth time in a row. Oh, so 3 wins in a row is not good enough.
Last I checked, that's called a sweep. Yeah. Baseball.
Who made that roll up?
Suns in 4.
Yeah. Real quick, while we got a second, let's go ahead and talk about Birmingham.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and knock that out. So they are obviously our loan sponsor. Please.
We just don't let anybody sponsor us.
That's right. BirminghamMeadery.com. Use our code HOODAY9 and on at least 2 bottles of more in an order, you get 15% off. That normally will cover about your shipping unless you live in Montana. Santori, why does Birmingham hate Montana?
Why does Montana hate alcohol sales? I don't know.
That's why.
That's them. Same with you, Jersey.
Yeah, but award after award, these guys keep winning. Like we said on Monday, I'm pretty sure they're coming out with the King of the North again. So look for that. I didn't get a chance to get it last year. I was late to the party, and I heard it was delicious. And the bottle's so cool. I mean, look at the bottle right there. Look at the artwork on there. Each one is different. Each flavor has its own artwork. So it's pretty amazing.
You can always see half my face.
But Houday 9, use that 15% off an order of 2 bottles or more.
I got a question for you guys because the question just popped in my head, so I have no answer at the moment. Who's the last AFC team to go to 2 back-to-back Super Bowls?
Patriots.
Super Bowls?
Super Bowls.
Probably Patriots.
I mean, what are we about to maybe do
The
next?
Chiefs.
Did they go to 2 straight Super Bowls?
They won one, lost one.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, so those are back-to-back. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a question, and it leads into another question that somebody in the chat has asked on Twitter. The first question:
Someone in the chat. Who is this someone?
You'll see. Do you really believe that Mahomes' ankle is doing as well as they're making it out to be? Mom says she doesn't. However, the video would say otherwise, but who knows what kind of drugs he was on or stretching.
All I saw was him walk down from a podium. I saw him do some light calisthenics and a little jogging.
Everything was straight.
There looked to be a very, 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 very minor hitch on like maybe one step. Nothing that if I would have saw that video 2 weeks ago, I'd have been like, why are we watching Mahomes stretch? I wouldn't have thought anything of it. So yeah, like Shelly said, it's a 4-second video. There's nothing that I saw that would lead me to believe he was hurt. There was also nothing lateral. There was nothing quick. There was nothing with any kind of speed or intensity to it. And you don't know how many Toradol shots he had going into practice today. You don't know. It's really hard to tell from those camera angles how much padding and how much wrapped up he had and how much time he spent in the ice bath and the hot bath. And Dad, you've had this before, how much atomic bomb they rubbed on his ankle beforehand. I mean, he might not even have felt his ankle out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not hurt. It also could be the fact that maybe it's not as hurt as we initially thought it was. And he's also doped up on whatever. I mean, who knows?
Varsity Blues where the coach is like, can you fix him? Who knows?
Yeah.
Was there a second part you had to that, James?
The follow-up question was brought up by this guy Bengals Depot, who agreed with you on something.
How did that happen?
I don't remember what it was.
Holy cow, he must not have been paying
Dad.
attention.
Dad.
Nobody agrees with me.
Right, but he messaged us on Twitter. I wrote it down so that way I wouldn't forget. But Bengals Depot asked, if Mahomes' ankle is not 100%, how much of the game plan is going to be McKinnon and Pacheco? What are we looking at? Are they going to turn into a running team, or are they going to try to do some other things? What's your all's thoughts?
Let's go first. I've got a long-winded answer.
I have a short one. Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, no, okay. I mean, Pacheco, that guy, people forget, I think a lot of people remember last game, that guy was driving me nuts and all that. Pacheco, that little guy was just running around right past everybody. I mean, that's the I was thinking to myself, besides Mahomes, even Kelsey, Mahomes and Kelsey, that guy scares me. That guy scares me. I mean, you cannot let him, that Chiefs offensive line, one of the best in the league, you cannot let him have all that momentum. You have to learn. I'm not saying trying to stop him completely, but you just got to contain him. That's all I ask. Other than that, this could be a long day for that running game, for our run defense.
I think they're going to be a little more balanced than they typically are. I think a tip though is if they start playing drives like they did when Henny was in there. I think that was like a 15-play drive and he threw 4 passes. If they start going over balanced to the run, they're tipping their hand that there's something wrong with Mahomes. So I think you're going to be able to tell before Mahomes even really shows it by the way the game plan is being called. So I think you're going to get more of that running game. It's just you really have to look at what the amount is. And even if it's not super effective and they're still going to it, that'll tell a big story.
Yeah, there's going to be an extension of the run game that's going to be called very, very short passes. And he's going to get the ball out quick. He's going to hand the ball off as often as he can, and if his ankle is not 100%. So look for that kind of stuff to be very prevalent during the game.
I look for a bunch of tight formations. I look for a bunch of trips, bunch. I look for, if the Chiefs normally run the ball about 30% of the time or whatever rate they run it, maybe it's closer to 40. Their best target is not somebody that runs deep routes. We need to remember that. The things that you're going to not see, and you do see this from the Chiefs relatively frequently, comparatively speaking, is when they like to roll the pocket and do their sprint out protections. And, occasionally they'll do some wacky trick plays, or there's not going to be any carousels and ring around the rosy in the backfield on that ankle this time around. You're not going to see Mahomes line up at, up back with Kelsey at fullback, or, all the normal bullshit that they like to kind of throw out there in the wrinkles in their playbook. It's probably going to be a lot more dialed back. I do look for a slight uptick in run plays. I think you'll see a lot more quick passes. I think you'll see some screens. Mahomes' arm strength is still more than enough to fire a ball 50 yards downfield if need be. It's just going to depend on what they're feeling. It's just probably not going to be a whole lot of left and right. So if you can get pressure, get it right up the gut. Go through the A gaps. Go through the B gap. Maybe
can we continue? What do we think the Bengals should do? How would you play this game if you were the Bengals defense?
Are you saying we're getting into keys to victory?
Well, you could. I was thinking more philosophically, but you could say keys to victory.
Yeah, my take is do what we did last year. Make Mahomes stay in the pocket. Everybody tried to blitz him. Look what that happened. Mahomes looked confused. I remember Harmon and Tyreek Hill were arguing with each other, saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?" Make Mahomes stay in the pocket. Make him think. Like Sam Hubbard, that my favorite play of that game last year is when Sam Hubbard's like, "Yeah, I'm not buying into this." He came straight at Mahomes. Mahomes had nowhere to go. He tried to dance. He tried to fake him out. He's like, "Dude, I ain't buying this. I'm coming right at you." Make Mahomes stay in the pocket. Make him think.
Do you think that means
don't think
less? Right. Less blitzing?
Maybe. Possibly.
Try to keep him in there, or because there's a couple things of that. Mahomes can pick you apart.
He could.
If he's got a steady platform, and he can pick you apart, and if he's got time. I don't know. The way I look at it, I think you make him try to move. You make him try to move and test that ankle. Your defensive line getting pressure, and the extension of the defensive line, Mike Hilton, coming in there and getting some pressure too. Now I could be way off base on that, but to me, I think you want him testing his ankle as much as possible. Get him to have to cut. Get him to have to move in a weird way that he hasn't been doing in practice, which is, like Santori said, straight line stuff, which is what they put out there. To me, if there's something unstable, you not dirty, but you go after it. You make him have to move in different ways that he's not used to with that injury.
So the way you do that is you get pressure from the front, not necessarily up the middle, but in his face, whether that's coming from his throw side, not blind side pressure, stuff that he's going to have to back up, pirouette, cut, spin, whatever. In terms of blitzing, I think you operate that he is healthy until something tells you otherwise. He is still the best quarterback in the NFL. I know a lot of people are going to be mad at me for saying that, but he still is the best quarterback in the NFL. He still is the best arm talent in the NFL. It's still the Chiefs. It's still their offensive line. It's still Pacheco. It's still Kelsey. This is still one of the top 4 teams in the NFL. We are at Championship Sunday at this point. Nobody sucks. You didn't get here by accident. The Chiefs have been here 5 straight years. This is not anything to take lightly. I don't care if he's hurt or not. I play it as it's normal Mahomes. Watch out for the run. I've got DJ Reader. Whew. We got it a lot tonight. But
Riveting conversation.
Well, let's talk off.
We beat him 3 times. Just keep doing with what you know works right now.
But that sets a fire with the Chiefs. They're not liking that 3 times thing. They're like, no, we're going to put an end to this. So
That's their fucking fault.
You look at their Chiefs defense. The only thing that scares me, the Chiefs defense, is Chris Jones, and that's it. Although Santori, I remember you telling us that he has never had a sack in the playoffs. Is that true?
Yeah, he's had 13 games and he's never had a sack.
That's ridiculous, man. That
Turns
guy,
into Andy Dalton in the playoffs.
but that's like
he got blanked last time against the Bengals with
Well, Justin Reed's going to have a hard time going up against Higbee Sunday and all that and stuff. So we got to watch out for that, man, too.
I don't worry about him at all.
What do you think, Bengal Dad?
Well, I agree. You need to make him move. And as I mentioned to my son either yesterday or today, maybe I said it erroneously. I would give as much pressure up the middle as you possibly can so he cannot move forward into a throw. I want to see him have to go side to side. I'm hoping that he starts doing a bunch of they're not RPOs. They're what's the other one you put it in the belly and you pull it out? What is that one? I don't know if they do a lot of that.
They ain't gonna do that.
I'm gonna say, if they did any of that, that is an open game to bust his ass.
Now,
and that's what I would do because you are legally allowed to hit the guy.
They don't do those, but they do occasionally do speed options.
Well, if he exposes himself, because I know when he was healthy at the very beginning of the game, the first play they did last week against Jacksonville was the old college option.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first play. If he does anything like that, I want 11 freaking guys just crushing him. I'm sorry, that's the way I would play the game. You can call that dirty, but if it's within the rules and the confines of the game, I would let them know we're here to play, and we're not afraid of them, and we're here to take it. I think you got to send that. That's the same way the Steelers would send a message. Yeah, and I don't mind thinking maybe we can one of these days be the badasses that the Steelers are, because I'd like that level of intensity.
You guys make a really good point with the coming up the middle and putting the pressure from the middle, because if it's coming from the outside, he's able to just step up into the pocket. Yeah, exactly. And I didn't think of that when I, even though I still agree with what I said, it's still pressure. But yeah, you guys make an awesome point. He can just step up in the pocket and just dump it off to Kelsey or dump it off to Juju, or because Juju doesn't catch far down the field throws. What? And
freaking double team Kelsey.
Triple.
Do whatever you can to take Kelsey out of that game. That's his security blanket. That's where his eyes are going to go the first time he feels pressure. His eyes are going to go there, and he's going to, I don't have that. Then guess what? You get to drilling. That's where I would go.
Here's an interesting question. Besides Kelsey and besides the running backs, what receiver scares you guys the most on that team?
I think the guy that's got a little bit of a flash to him is
Juju.
19, the newer guy they got.
Kadarius Toney.
He's got a little Peter Warwick in him.
He does.
I see that a little bit. So he scares me a little.
Rick the Rock. He's confident.
I'm with you, Rick. I hope that happens.
Santori, same question.
Who scares me the most?
Yeah, besides Kelsey and the running backs and Mahomes. What actual wide receiver on that team scares you?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
The rookie out of Boise State?
No, MVS.
No, he's from Green Bay.
Oh, Green Bay. Sorry.
He's not Tyreek, but he still stretches the field. And I keep going back to the December 4th game where we just blitzed the hell out of Mahomes, and twice he threw up a prayer and he came down with jump balls twice. 50 yards.
I got a feeling, though, they're going to be afraid to call plays that stretch the field.
They might be.
Mahomes is going to have to be back there longer.
The issue is we have no idea what they're confident in right now.
Yeah.
Because we have no idea what his ankle is.
Yeah.
I would just go after him.
You guys talked about.
I would just go after him until he proves that we can't do that. I like being the aggressor.
You talked about
James, same question I asked the Bengal Dad.
Why do you have $1?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just waving around. Sorry. It was just sitting right here. Sorry.
Hey, it's Big Savage Greg. He can have $1 if
He's
he
got a
wants.
stripper pole in the other room.
No, I agree with Santori. It's Marquez Valdez Scantling, and I mean he's already said it, but that's the guy that I was thinking of too. Yeah, I had a question. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Oh no, I had a statement. So you guys were talking about Travis Kelce. Trey Flowers did practice today, and he's done okay against Kelce this year.
Yeah, he's done bad against everyone else.
He has. He hasn't played all that great against everybody else, but he has done well against Kelce.
You know what he is to Travis Kelce? Bill Hall.
Jesus Christ.
Had to say it. I'm just saying. Bengal Dad, do you agree?
He could be.
Yeah.
Hey,
He
real
could be
quick,
Bill Hall.
this is the second time Pork Chops asked this. Is anybody going to RJ for the game?
I might.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I initially thought I was. Maybe this is going to sound sappy, but I really enjoy watching games with my dad. And if he's saying no, then that might dictate where I end up going.
I understand.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely. Okay, so we kind of touched quickly on keys to victory. I want Greg to start. What is your key to victory on Sunday at 6:30?
Win the damn game. Just kidding. Keys to victory: keep the offense high tempo. Contain Mahomes. But you know what, James? I'm going to reverse what I said. Test out that ankle. See, try to make him run out of the pocket. Are we talking certain players, or
Not yet.
okay? Keys to victory: high tempo offense. Picked up let's put it this way: pick up where you left off last week. Just pick up exactly where you left off last week.
Ride the wave.
There you go. Santori, is that it?
No. Aside from my one that has worked for 12 weeks straight or whatever it is, which is protect Joe.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't want to say fear, but their offense is still the Chiefs, and that's the strength of their team. I respect their offense a lot.
Yes.
You got to find a way to hold them to under 30 points. If you can do that, I'll take my chances.
Bengal Dad?
With every road game, just as someone said earlier on the crawler, we do need to get off to a fast start. I always talk about weathering that initial storm or flurry that can happen in games when you're the visitor. We took it straight to the Bills, and that didn't happen. We need to get off to an early start. We need to do something. Obviously, Burrow's got to stay standing up. But we got to do something to rattle Mahomes. We need to do something to make a statement, a Von Bell hit on Juju, that kind of thing. We need an early statement to make the Chiefs have an oh shit moment. Here we go again. Because, again, reverse this. This is kind of like when the Bengals always played the Steelers and they had our number. All it took was something in those games, and it was like we wilted. I want to see us make the Chiefs wilt. I think they can wilt. I know we hold them up on this highest of pedestals, which we rightly should, but they're still human. And when they've been beat 3 times and no other team can ever do to them what we've been doing, it will get into their head. And we need to just step on them and just keep stepping and keep stepping.
My quick question: if the Bengals won the coin toss, do you kick or receive first?
Receive.
All right.
It's working too well for them. They've got so much momentum when they do that. And I just can't stand the fact that I sit there the whole game going, oh, God, I don't want the double score. So I really, really get nervous the final 4 minutes and the first 4 minutes of the second and third quarters. That's the only negative with doing it, though. If you believe in Joe Burrow and he's your best player, put the ball in his hands right away so you can get that quick start. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm betting on him.
Go ahead, Santori.
Every fiber of my being and everything I've always believed in coaching philosophy tells me to always kick. But for whatever freaking reason it is, when we kick, our offense starts out so damn slow. And this is not a game where you can afford to start slow.
Yeah.
It's been working. And until they give me a reason that it's not working, I'm going to trust them. So give me the ball.
So this is not what I was going to say, but Haas does bring up a very good point. The rookie class is going to have a big factor in the game. He said games.
I like games. I like games.
Like that, Haas.
Like the confidence there. It's not cockiness, by the way. It's confidence.
Confidence, yeah.
And he's right. Cam Taylor-Britt, Cordell Volson. I mean, Dax Hill, to an extent. These guys are going to have to step up.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But speaking of rookies, which rookie do you give your rookie of the year to the Bengals? Is it Taylor-Britt or Volson?
Volson.
Yeah. He played all year.
Yeah.
And he wasn't expected to do much.
Yeah.
Cam Britt, with his athleticism, I think people expected when he came in that he would flash. And he has a little bit, but Volson served a much more important role. Granted, when Aruzier went out, a lot of pressure went on Cam.
Right.
It's close, but I would say Volson.
I mean, Volson, he was picked as a project to back up what we were told through the offseason was Jackson Carman's job. And Jackson Carman, we understand what happened there. And Volson just came in and didn't miss a beat like the whole year. I can think of moments where it's like, oh, but I mean, he's a fourth round rookie out of an FCS school?
Yep.
I mean, it's not like he was playing good talent. I mean, he came out of essentially high school all-star level games, and here we are.
And you can pick those kind of moments for every player in the NFL.
Oh, for sure.
So it's I know why you said it because he's a rookie, but yeah, every player has that. So
he's when I do my
but it's more like on one hand. It's not like
right. And when I grade draft picks, and I've got a whole spreadsheet of every Bengals draft pick going back to like 2005. When I grade them, and I wait till the end of year 3 to grade them, the way I grade it is expectation versus reality. You know when you're drafted and what was the current state of the roster, where were you projected to be for the roster? What is your expected role for the next year to 2-3 years? Volson would have screamed backup, and he has been a stabilizing force at left guard. I mean, he's an A. I hate grading this early, but I mean, he has far and away exceeded.
Got more than a year.
Yeah, but he's far and away and exceeded any level of expectation I could have had for him. I mean, it's a phenomenal pick, especially that round.
Yep.
And they got killed for it.
Oh, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They saw something. Frank Pollock or Zach Taylor, I don't know who it was, Duke Tobin, whoever it was that saw it. I'm so glad they did.
Okay, speaking of Frank Pollock, can we just agree? Well, I know that Lou Anarumo's assistant, but we're going to pick position coach. Wouldn't you agree that Frank Pollock is the Bengals' position coach of the year? Oh, Marion Hobby's up there. Hey.
Yes, I would.
It's yeah, close.
It's close, but it is.
So
I think our quarterbacks coach has done a good job.
I was going to say, I think Charles Burks deserves a little credit. Not my favorite coach in the world, but he deserves a little credit.
The Dan Pitcher, the QB coach, I believe he has been rumored for offensive coordinator jobs. I
don't know if Dan Pitcher really affected too much.
Okay.
He might be the best quarterback coach in the world, but I'm pretty sure I could have done it. And he gifted me Joe.
Yeah, really.
I mean, it's not a slight to Dan Pitcher, but my God, when the Messiah is gifted to you, it is what it is.
Who's our receivers coach again? What's his name?
Troy Walters.
That's another guy. I mean, obviously he has the three, but yeah, look what he did with Trenton Irwin, man. I mean, that you could argue him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my key to the game is going to be. I thought you guys forgot. My key to the game is going to be the running game.
Yep.
Getting the running game going. If we can do what we did last week, I don't think the Chiefs stand a chance.
No.
Like I think we roll them. 172 yards rushing against the Chiefs. I think it's a done deal.
Absolutely.
Because that's what we did against the Bills.
I don't know how Carl Loftus has done against the run. I know Chris Jones is just the best defensive lineman in football, so it's going to be tough there. But if you run that tackle power like they had been doing, that wrap tackle, Chris Jones would be a non-factor in those plays.
Did we run well against them the first game that we had against them this year?
What's that?
Didn't we run well against them the first game we had against them this year?
I know Kansas City didn't do a whole lot well in that game. They were fumbling balls and throwing interceptions, all kinds of good shit.
I'm going to look that up real quick.
They were struggle bussing, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, I really think if we get going, it's going to be hard to stop us if our running game's doing what it did last week. Let's see. Sorry. Yeah, Samaje Perine had 21 carries for 106 yards.
Against the Chiefs?
Against the Chiefs.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Mixon was hurt in that game.
Yeah. Mixon was seeing stars that week.
Yes. We had 152 rushing yards against them. And it should have been a blowout if Tyler Boyd didn't drop that wide open pass. That was a walk-in touchdown. That kind of shifted the momentum a little bit. Let the Chiefs get back in it.
Why are you trying to hurt me?
We won.
Yeah, but I don't want to remember bad plays.
No, I'm saying that we should have destroyed them.
Uh-huh.
Here, if you want some positive mojo, the Bengals have never lost an AFC Championship game.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So we've talked about our keys. Now, is there somebody under the radar? Sleeper players. Who wants to start us off?
Stanley Morgan.
That's not bad.
He either a big play on special teams or sneaking out as the number 5 receiver. I know he threw that one pass and it was complete to him when they called the play dead. But you just never know. You absolutely never know because they don't give him any respect out there.
Stanley Morgan is going to catch 4 passes in the Super Bowl, and everyone in America is going to go, who?
I remember his dad.
Yeah. What are the odds for a Stanley Morgan 4-touchdown Super Bowl with my $25 free bet?
He's my sleeper player of the week. He's gonna do something in this game.
You might win $1 million on that, Santori.
I'm gonna go Trey Flowers.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think he's gonna show. You got to show.
I hope he plays. He should play, but I hope he plays.
But no, if he shows up against Kelsey like you were just talking, Bengal Dad, just take Kelsey, just guard him 100%. I think we can be fine.
Yep. Who has not gone? Santori and me? Do you want to go first? You got somebody?
Joseph Osai.
I thought of him too.
He's starting to get some relatively consistent pressure, and they're starting to line him up over guard, which is fun because he's learning how to beat guards inside, and he's so damn quick. If that's just one other thing that he's got to worry about on the inside on third down,
that could be your pressure up the middle.
That's my sleeper.
All right, I'm going to go with a different wide receiver, and I'm going to say T.I. Trenton Irwin. All it takes for him is one, and then it seems like he gets on just a little mini roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's my guy. He's my guy this game.
He's another guy that can get lost in that defense.
Yeah.
The eyes can only go so many different places.
We got a couple guys.
Speaking of eyes going places, I got something for you, Dad.
That's a segue.
Yes,
I've
it
heard
is. I
one.
don't think you anticipated it either. Film.
Oh, again?
Yeah, I got another one.
Doubling up on the snow game here. All right.
I just, you've always asked for something like this. And, Bengal fans always ask for creativity, and I wanted to show them some creativity and something that I think you would genuinely like. So Chase starts out in the slot here, comes in the orbit, and wraps around. And they did that 3 or 4 times in this game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And it was really effective when they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's really fun is it caused everybody to shift down. Okay?
Why do I think there's something going to happen down in the lower left-hand corner of that screen?
Because you're smart.
I doubt that.
This guy ends up shifting back here. We pull the opposite tackle and block down. And it's just a straight give on the power, coupled with the orbit. And it's beautiful. You could drive a truck either through this lane or this lane. That's called a two-way go when you got 2 different directions he could have cut. And it's one-on-one with a safety.
Yoink!
Now you can really see the beauty of it from behind the line here. So you've
And
got...
why do I like this?
Because you always say we don't do enough pre-snap to get defenses to move.
Mm-hmm.
To make them hesitate. To get them back on their heels just a little bit. It shuts everything down on defense. They don't know what to do. We kind of look like the 49ers there.
Look at that. So you'll see it perfectly in motion here, and it's beautiful. There goes Chase. Everybody's shifting. Watch Carmen over there on the left. Kicks his guy out of the play. Identity just blows his guy up.
Yeah, the linebacker was the only one that really did his job, and he got destroyed by Identity.
Yeah.
You want me to say what I think they should do against the Chiefs? It's more stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
you can't load the box against the Bengals. There's too much to account for.
100%.
And if that's the way your line is really going to start blocking,
You talk about peaking at the right time.
Yeah, for real.
thank God.
That's right.
I was telling you, I wanted them to come down a little bit, and then hopefully, if that Buffalo game was anything, they're
Yeah, if that's the beginning
Swing it
edge
up.
of your, that would be a good thing.
So-
So you got to just hope the defense just stays a step ahead of the
Yep.
Chiefs.
So
And,
unless I'm
and don't try to strip the ball from Kelsey. He's going to expect that. We embarrassed him. Just make some sound tackles. Don't let him carry us 6 and 7 yards down the field.
I'd still try and strip it. You never know.
No, you can do anybody else. I just think you're going to get carried away with him. He's going to get a lot of yards. It
might be really cold, that ball might get slippery.
It might.
All it takes is a helmet in the right spot.
Right. If I'm counting correctly, I think we've got 2 more things. We've got our big game picks, but first, Lutheranisms.
Dun dun dun.
We got a couple tonight. So, Greg, we've got some new people in the chat that maybe haven't seen what Lutheranisms are. Why don't you describe a certain former number 14 quarterback?
So imagine Andy Dalton. He's a grilled cheese sandwich. Now, here's why he's a grilled cheese sandwich. Imagine you're going over to a family friend's house or whatever, and they try something new, some type of casserole. We'll call it Ryan Leaf casserole. You're going to hate it so badly. It's like, this is the worst thing in the world. But you think about that grilled cheese sandwich. When you normally think it's not the best thing in the world, but when you think at that moment, it's not the worst thing either. So, it can get you through. And if you surround it with, beer or bacon, we'll call the beer Andrew Whitworth, the bacon AJ Green. French fries can be like the rest of the team that makes them good. Then it's going to be an okay thing to have. So, not the best thing, but not the worst thing.
I like it. I like it. So the first one we've got, and Santori, you can see them loaded in there.
Oh yeah.
Greg, Christian Okoye, former Chief.
The Nigerian Nightmare, big guy. He's like a jawbreaker. He'd run over you. You'd try to tackle him. He pretty much would break your jaw running right over you, pretty much. That's what he is a freaking jawbreaker.
All right.
Yeah.
I love that Greg is big on that too.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. We're only doing 2 tonight. So we did a former Chief and we're gonna do a former Bengal. Let's see how many people remember this guy. Former Bengal Ryan Hewitt.
Ooh.
Ryan Hewitt was probably one of the most unappreciated Bengals ever. He was that guy. He was your Jimmy Dean breakfast. When you need something quick for breakfast, may not have been the best thing, but it was reliable. And that's what Ryan Hewitt was. He was so reliable in the run game that nobody paid enough attention. At one point, in my opinion, he was the best fullback in the league, was Ryan Hewitt. And so he was that Jimmy Dean sandwich that was always reliable with you every morning when you were rushing to get something to eat for breakfast. God dang it, Santori.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh,
No, but that is true though. Yeah, that's what he is though. Santori, what was your? What was all your guys' take on Ryan Hewitt? I'm just curious.
I thought he could have been a little bit better utilized. My dad was head over heels for Ryan Hewitt.
I thought he could catch balls out of the backfield. I love the way he ran with the ball. They just didn't give it to him enough.
No.
Yep.
They gave up on him way too soon, I thought.
I thought he could have been pretty productive.
Didn't we meet him in an elevator or something?
I think so.
I think we met him somewhere in the stadium. I don't know what it was. We met him in an elevator.
He was at one point the best fullback in the league. He was a tight end being used as fullback. If you guys remember, Orson Charles did not work out too well.
Orson Charles.
Remember, what was that thing Hugh Jackson tried to teach him, like duck walk or something? And all that, and it just didn't work out.
The only thing I remember about Orson Charles was him like brandishing a gun on the freeway and scaring shit out of people. He's like trying to shoot people while driving a car.
Well, remember Orson Charles and Hard Knocks? No, who was the guy? The former UK fullback? No, John Connor. He cut the Barbara was like, "Yeah, we're cutting you." He's like, "What did I do wrong?" He's like, "Nothing." And we just like Orson Charles better. I'll never forget that. But Orson Charles, I thought that was going to work out for us. Obviously, it didn't. But
then John Connor went to the Jets and was freaking awesome.
Yeah, he was. I missed. Oh my! Oh gosh, he was good.
The Terminator.
Uh-huh.
There it is. So there's only 2 games this weekend. Only 2.
And we're one of them.
Championship Sunday.
My favorite Sunday of the football season.
Right? So we got our big game picks. Obviously, we're going to go first with the very first game of the night. 49ers, Eagles. Eagles are favored -2.5. What do we got?
Niners. I don't want it to be them, but that defense is scary. I'm going Niners.
I'm going to go Niners because if I remember right, the Niners had 44 sacks during the season and the Eagles had 77. I don't know that I want to see that Eagles defense if we make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm going to say the 49ers. And I think they've got a legit shot to beat them as well.
Give me the Niners strictly because I want to play them. 1, I want to get one of those back. 2, I think Lou Anarumo would have a fun time with the rookie quarterback. I know that's a incredibly complex scheme they have under there, and Brock Purdy's been running it very well.
Yes,
he's done a beyond exceptional job coming in. But give me the rookie quarterback against the bright lights against the mad scientist.
Do you remember what Kittle did to us last year?
I don't give a shit.
All right.
Next year.
Different year.
You're right. We got to put our game face back on.
I remember having the lead in overtime driving down the field and Zach Taylor taking his foot off the gas.
That's
we didn't have the lead in overtime.
Well, whatever. I remember having him beat.
I like having the lead in overtime and having the ball. I really like that.
I remember having him beat.
That's true.
I would take the Eagles in this game. Are we asking who we want to play if we happen to win?
No.
Okay. Then the Eagles. I think they have a very, very super efficient offense. And I think their quarterback is more talented than Brock Purdy.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, James, 71 quarterback sacks going into this game, 4 defensive linemen that have at least 10 plus sacks. I mean, I don't know how they're not going to win this game.
Yeah.
I mean, if Jalen Hurts is on his game, I mean, they got it covered on both sides.
I know I kind of talked out of both sides of my mouth there, didn't I, when I brought up
I think I heard out of you who you want to see the Bengals play, or you want to see the Bengals play the Niners in the Super Bowl.
Yes. No. All right. The game that everybody wants to see, games that we want to see.
The spread's probably changed since you put that graphic up.
It maybe has changed since I put this up, but it's changed 93 times
Right.
in 3 days.
It's going to keep changing, too.
This was the information that I had right before the podcast started. Bengals versus Chiefs, -1. The Chiefs are favored. It has moved from +2.5 for the Bengals, all the way to -2.5 for the Bengals, to now +1 for the Bengals. Insane.
Who they got to play us.
What'd you say?
They got to play us.
That's right.
Son?
I'm looking FanDuel to see if the odds have changed again.
Oh, don't worry about that.
Well,
They have not. they have not. I mean, it's this game's a pick 'em. Call it what it is. I mean, it's going to move all over the place between. I mean, like you said, I've seen us getting 2.5, and I've seen us favored 2.5, and it's down to 1 on either side. It's ridiculous to even put odds on it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the team with the track record that keeps winning. And I'm not trying to put Kansas City lightly, but 3 in a row is not a coincidence. A trend's a trend. I mean, it very well, it's any given Sunday. Could we be leaving Sunday night with our tails between our legs and get our ass kicked in Arrowhead? Sure, 100%. Things happen. I don't think this game's a blowout one way or the other. I think it's going to be a close game. Every single one of these matches have come down to 3 points. I just hope we get off to a hot start and are able to sustain, because that's probably going to be what it takes. Give me the Bengals, but it's going to be close. It's a dogfight. It really is.
I'm going to take the Bengals. Obviously, I said earlier my key to the game is getting the run game going, but I also think we're going to see a lot of 9-1.
Well, hold on. Didn't you say the odds were you've got Chiefs -1 before the podcast?
Yes.
The Bengals are -1 now.
What?
Yeah, it's flipped again.
Mahomes must have slipped on a banana peel somewhere. Somebody got that on video.
You're not wrong.
It's
FanDuel's got a -1.
I'm going back to look again. You see what happens. You did interrupt my awesome little thing I said.
Yeah, but I started reading and the numbers were wrong, and I went, did it really change that? Did it really change by 2 points in the last 30 minutes?
I can't read it.
I can't read it.
-1 Chiefs.
Huh.
Chiefs are the bottom. That's insane.
Chiefs +1 on FanDuel.
So it's a pick 'em.
Depending on your sports book, if you guys want to arbitrage bet and really screw over the casinos, the odds are there for you.
Right. So what I was saying before Santori interrupted me and told me that I was wrong, but I was right, but I was wrong, was, yeah.
You better check yourself.
Hey, now. So I said the running game. That's a big key.
Yeah.
Get them going. But we're going to see a lot of 9-1. We're going to see it. There's a track record for that. against this team. What, 265? Is that right? 265 against them. So I think we could see Chase have a pretty good game too, but he's not a sleeper player, so I couldn't really pick him.
Am I up?
Yeah.
I just think I'm trying to try to look at this as a non-participant fan and just a fan of the NFL. I think over the course of the last probably 6 to 8 weeks, the Bengals have played a much more solid brand of football than the Chiefs have, even though both teams are basically undefeated until they faced each other. The Bengals struggled against the Ravens, but short of that, they haven't struggled much at all. They have met every challenge that's been put up to them. They obviously have a psychological edge, probably, even though the Chiefs would not admit that. I think if I'm a fan of any other team and watching this game, I'm saying to myself, they're playing in Kansas City, but it sure wouldn't surprise me if the Bengals did it again because they just look like they are an up-and-coming team. With that in mind, I just say the Bengals. Whether it's -1 or +1 or whatever, I think the Bengals win the game.
Roll the playoffs. It's right there. We're going to do it again.
Gonna do it again.
Back to back.
Absolutely.
Holy cow. That's crazy.
Man, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
If these chips fall into place this weekend, wow.
Oh my
I'm ready to rock.
I don't even know what to say if that happens. Like the thing that it reminds me of is that kid that had the dental procedure and kept going, is this real life?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Is this real life? Like, that's how I feel right now. The Bengals are playing awesome. They've done it multiple years in a row now. I mean,
Right.
with all the futility that we've had to deal with for so many years, to finally get to it to where we're powerhouses.
I mean, if
That's
you would
what we
look
are.
at every game that was played in the divisional round, what was the most unlikely outcome that happened out of all those games?
The Bengals and
Who would have thought the Bengals would have went into Buffalo and win by 17 points?
winning? Meh. Winning by 17?
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, dominating the game.
With no
Totally
injuries.
control, making
Buffalo.
Josh Allen look as pedestrian as you could possibly do.
With
Well,
no
guys, we're
injuries to
wearing white.
Buffalo, by the way. They were
Fair,
they were there.
Do what, Greg?
that they were wearing white jerseys. Remember, that was an unfair advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God.
Seriously.
Well, guess what? For those of you that don't know, Buffalo chooses what the Bengals wear. So that's their fucking fault.
Yep.
Home team decides what to wear, and they chose color, and the Bengals went, dumbass, picked white.
Yeah, they're not allowed to go orange.
Asinine thing in your life like that.
If you really want to look into it, well, that was your fault.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no joke. They're not allowed to go orange.
Yep.
Because it's an alternate uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I just like what's happening right now, that every game that they win, it's just building blocks onto their newfound greatness.
Yep.
And that's just where you have to put it right now. So every game they can win, it's another game that they can't take away from us. And they're building a potential legacy here. I'm not saying they're going to be the Patriots of what happened there, but to have something that you can rely on and you can count on, and they are just stacking win after win, the confidence level of the team
I'm not going to put them.
is unreal.
Patriots. I'm not going to put them Patriots, like you said, because I don't know if we'll see anything like that again, because that was unreal.
Yeah.
But you could, if they would get at least one, if not two, which is not out of the question with where they're at. You'd put them up there with stuff like the greatest show on turf. I mean, they would have, I wouldn't say a dynasty, but they would have their era of, oh, that was a pain in the ass. You wouldn't be talking about the Bungles anymore.
I keep thinking of Jack Nicholson. That mean, yes. Yes. Give it to me. Come on.
You're,
Let's do this.
You're like, it's weird. You're about 2.5 weeks to being halfway there.
Yeah.
Whether people realize that or not. So it's not out of the question. You need to get the first one. And, 2.5 weeks from now is a long, long road still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you cannot overlook this game.
No.
When the playoffs started, my comment to you was they have to go on 4 one-game winning streaks.
They're halfway there.
They've went on 2 one-game winning streaks. They said they need another one and then another. And
Well,
then
guess
they
what?
can proudly feel like they can't take that away.
Well, guess what? Back in Halloween, when I was about ready to put a freaking fork in this season because I was unbelievably embarrassed, we were going, oh, my God. There's 8 left. They need to really try and find a way to win 5 of the 8. I don't know if they're going to do it. It's a tough as hell schedule. Well, they've just gone on 10 one-game winning streaks since then. Toughest schedule in the NFL. Just
Why not 2 more?
bitch slapped everybody else in the way.
And one of the teams they had to get out of the way during those 10 one-game winning streaks was the team that we're about to play.
And we didn't really look great in that game. And we still
we didn't, and we still won.
We won by 30 points. We could have won by like 20 points, couldn't we, that game?
they left about 17 points of offense on the field.
That Tyler Boyd catch, man. I mean,
I don't remember a lot about it, but you mentioned the Boyd thing where it came down to hit him in the face mask, and
yeah.
I remember it now that you said it, but I don't really recall, but I know that you guys are right. I'm sure we left a bunch of
No, I
points.
remember.
That was the game where Zach Taylor finally said fuck it with the 4th and short end arounds.
That's when he did that, and he got barbecued, and there were people saying fire Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get a show of hands in the Twitter sphere of the idiots that were saying that?
Yeah.
Do any idiots want to raise their hand? That was ridiculous. And if he does it next week and he tries something and it doesn't work, guess what? He tried something and it didn't work.
And I think Evan missed a kick in that game. I mean, that's 17 points we're talking about right there.
Yeah. I think it was 21-3 at one point.
Yeah,
Yep.
we were kicking their ass.
We were winning that game 21-3
Yeah.
because we fell behind in that game.
Yeah, they came storming back.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't 21-3.
It was 14-3, and then
It was
we were
14.
I
down.
remember 14-3.
And then we were down 17-14,
Yeah, that was my fault. I'm sorry.
and then we won 27-24. I mean, it was. But we were up 14-3, going woo.
The bottom line is we know we can compete on Sunday. We have every chance in the world to win this game. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Absolutely.
There's a lot to respect on the other side of that ball, but there's nothing to fear.
No. I mean, guys, when we had Andy and all that, I had this mentality where I just kind of like, I was obviously wanting to win, but I said, I don't know if we're going to win this game because I didn't want to get my hopes up. Like, people said, why are you being such a downer? I mean, at first, just how I was, because I didn't want to get my hopes up and be disappointed. As you guys see with me now, I just have this mentality. I'm ready to go in and kick somebody's ass and all that. I don't care where it is. It's like Apollo Creed said to Rocky, I'll beat you any place. Now, he didn't end up beating Rocky, but you get what I'm saying. He has that mentality. He wants to win and all that. He expects to win. He doesn't care where it is. He'll win.
Big Savage Greg.
That's right.
It's just
Probably about 10 minutes to 1 every Sunday afternoon, you made yourself a grilled cheese sandwich.
Pretty much, yeah. Now that you mentioned it.
It's
before you watched the Bengals as a kid, with Kenny Anderson, you probably had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, didn't you?
I used to eat a lot of SpaghettiOs on Sundays during or before the games.
you haven't lately.
I haven't lately because it reminds me of losing.
I
can't do it anymore because it just reminds me of being excited to watch the game, knowing I'm probably going to be disappointed.
I
by
can
it.
vividly remember you in your white long johns before we would go out to a game. You'd have that black Bengals hoodie that I used to love to wear before I outgrew it, that had the cursive orange Bengal font on it. Sitting down in the kitchen.
I still wear that for every game.
Sitting down in the kitchen, getting a sleeve of Townhouse.
Absolutely, a
cookies
full
out,
sleeve of
or
them.
crackers out, and I can still hear I can hear the spoon hitting the bottom of your bowl as you're chopping the
I
crackers.
would put 5 or 6 on the top, and I would chop them down.
Chopping your crackers into the SpaghettiOs. I can just see that right now and going, oh my God, yeah, it's November. We're going down for a game, and then we're just driving back all pissed off.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We just associate SpaghettiOs with losing now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's the lunchtime meal of losers.
What meal do you associate with winning now?
I don't eat before the game.
Me
I
neither.
refuse to eat before the game.
Me neither.
Yeah, you just.
I might get a hamburger or a hot dog if James is around with his truck. I did take care of business there, but no, I don't eat before the games.
I don't eat at the games either, Bengal Dad. I wait till after the game, go to Texas Roadhouse or somewhere.
I have to eat before. I try not to eat during unless I'm at the game.
Of course,
Right.
I lie. I ate a hot dog before the Raven playoff game. I did do that.
Well, no, I did eat before that Ravens game because it was like a late game. I think that was why, yeah.
Here, we got to share one memory on here before we go because we're at an hour 10 right now. But it's probably one of my favorite Bengal memories, and it's really not even a Bengal memory. And Dad and I used to always joke about this, and we haven't even joked about it this year. And I think it's just because it's been almost a foregone conclusion that we were going to make the playoffs. We used to always say that if we clinched in an early game on week 17 or week 16, whatever it was, and it was an early game,
Frickers.
and you had the chaos of all of the 4 o'clock games and what was going to affect the seeding, but we were already locked in. There was one time we drove down to Frickers just to try something different, and we sat at a booth, or not, I think it was a high top, just about 2 or 3 seats away from the bar, and we were watching the Steelers and Chiefs, I think, of all teams.
I don't know who the Steelers were playing, but there were Steeler fans in there, and we were just reveling in the pain and anguish they were feeling
but the Chiefs
trying
won.
to get to the playoffs.
No, the Chiefs won because they got away with overloading a field goal at the end.
Oh, that's right.
Because the Steelers missed it.
That was also the same playoffs, I believe.
With LeGarrette Blount.
LeGarrette Blount returned a kickoff for a touchdown. It must have taken 25 seconds.
Yeah, there
It
was,
was in the snow. He was like walking almost.
yeah,
I said, they can't tackle him. This is crazy.
snowstorm. He walked like 110 yards for a touchdown. But we're just sitting in this Frickers, and these Steeler fans are just losing their fucking minds every 5 or 6 minutes. And I'm sitting there eating chicken wings, laughing at them. Oh my God, it was probably almost 10 years ago. But every once in a while, we get to the last couple weeks of the season, and we go, Frickers. If we were playing the early game, if we were the 3 o'clock game, this might have been a Frickers game. Just for the sake of it. But I don't think I'll be able to eat at 3 o'clock Sunday. My stomach's going to be in knots.
No. But the game is going to end at 11 o'clock. I still might not wait. I don't know. Like, I get invited over to family's house next thing. Well, come over and eat at halftime. I ain't eating at no halftime. I don't want to be bothered or anything.
Halftime.
I'll tell you, you guys like to make fun of me. Because you say I don't get nervous during games, or like I don't yell or anything during games. Bengals and Bourbon, Matt, he gets on me like crazy. He's like, I watched a whole game with you and you didn't say a word. I'm just really paying attention to it.
Yeah.
Right. I sat down for that Bills game next to Dad, and my legs were shaking. And he's like, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "Yeah, it's hit me. I'm a little nervous now." And then they came out and just blew him out of the water. And about 10 minutes in, I went, I think I'm good now. I was nervous for 10 minutes this year.
Oh, man. Love it. Here's somebody I've never seen in here. Black Hills Audits. Bengals are too physical of a team, and the Chiefs are in trouble.
I paid my taxes.
That's funny. All right. Well, I think we've hit a bunch of stuff today. Got some film in. Love it. We will be at the game in KC. Oh, nice, Black Hills.
Let's keep the positive mojo.
Let's do this. Come on.
Big one. This is a really big one.
We got this.
They gotta play us.
They got to play us. Don't stand on the tracks when the train's coming through. And if you're up by a bunch of points, Remember the quote from Zombieland: "Double tap."
Choo choo, mofos.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Hooday.
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 We will see you again, boys.
There you